has been a long, long journey to freedom. Now that the new Gambia is here, there are a lot of challenges. Are you ready for the discussions?
Gambia bu ees xalaat yu bees waxtaan biir Kër Fatou dina ëmb lu bari li nga xam ne ñor na askani Gambia.
Join us for a special waxtaan on the way forward. Gambia moo mat na boppam kon gaañi nañ leen di waxtaan. Welcome to a special election night coverage here at the IEC office. We want to welcome you all watching us around the world. Kër Fatou in partnership with iAfrica TV, sponsored by NAWEC, the National Water and Electricity Company, EJ Investment, Approved Services, and of course Universal Properties. We want to thank you for watching us, and of course we are here to give you live updates about the mayoral elections and of course the chairperson's elections. Of course we have elections in Banjul, in KMC, in URR, CRR, North Bank Division, of course all the regions in the country. But to start this broadcast this evening with me, I have a veteran broadcaster, Lamin Cham from the Standard newspaper. Mr. Cham, welcome to this special election coverage.
Thank you very much, Fatu, and welcome viewers all around the world.
And of course, we also have Mr. Kemo Bojang. Kemo is a youth activist. We definitely want to have a youth perspective on the platform. Kemo, welcome to this special coverage. Gentlemen, I know my panel is not balanced, but later on we'll have some women on the platform. Lamin, the importance of this election.
Well, thank you, Fatu. I think every election in the cycle, since it started, the presidential election, to the enlightened person is as important as the other. But as you must have observed, interest in the elections started declining from the National Assembly elections right down to this one we are having today.
Yeah.
Now, I've been around this morning, and really I'm particularly concerned that just as the area council elections, the ward elections, there have not been a great voter turnout.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that when the campaign or the nomination started, what we saw in the nomination crowd was that this election might just look like the presidential one in terms of ambience and in terms of interest. But what I've seen, at least in the West Coast area where I have been to, and from what we are getting from the exit polls, if you like, unconfirmed result from polling stations, there does not seem to have been a large turnout. So it looks like there are a lot of people who still don't consider this particular election as important as the presidential one, whereas, in fact, if you look at it, this is the local government elections, and local governments are definitely more closer to the people than the central government. But people's understanding generally is very low. You'd be surprised. There are some people who are asking me who are the candidates in some part of West Coast.
Yep.
So it's really baffling that people did not take much interest in this one?
In fact, that's why when we had a conversation with the IEC chairman on this program on Kefatu, we said, I think the IEC definitely needs to redouble when we have elections next time, because the voter turnout is really low. Kemo.
Yeah. Yes, it is really low, but I think this is not just a Gambian problem. I think it's a global phenomenon. And when you look from England during the Brexit elections,
Yes.
In America, and then Gambia again. So it's a system that we have been doing, and people are not seeing results for a long time.
Yeah.
So people have gone a long way, and they have lost interest in the system. So how do we make the system attractive to the people? I think this is what we need to be looking at now, and it has to do with investment too.
Yeah.
How much are we investing in these elections? Because and then I'll also have to agree with him when he spoke about the importance. The Center for Civic Education should be able to tell people that this is as important as the presidential elections. And because these are the people that you are in direct contact with, and you are not in direct contact most of the time with the central government. So I think it all has to do with investment and interest, and how do we make this look attractive for the average Gambian.
Well, for me, I was expecting a good turnout, because the level of campaigning we have seen, especially in Banjul and KM,
Definitely.
for me, like, why aren't candidates able to drive people from the homes to the polling booths? Or is it because people are transporting other people from other regions to come and campaign? Because at the end of the day, we're not seeing that turnout. Is it because people are getting people from other areas to come and campaign with them?
Well, nomination day, of course, is always a special day for any election process, because you see, especially in the past year or so, in this very cycle of elections since the presidential, we have seen that parties or even independent candidates, tend to, if you like, critics would say, rent crowds. Rent crowds.
Yeah.
Everyone will try to marshal as much support as possible on the day of election for visibility purpose. But then, how to maintain that kind of people en masse to come and vote is a different matter.
Yeah.
And you would understand that there may be people in the crowd and nomination who are not actually in fact registered, who are even less than the age voting. But I think the fundamental reasons, as outlined by Kemo, and I would like to add into that, is that we must try to have these elections held, on the same day.
Definitely.
Now, for example, you can imagine during the First Republic, when the first direct presidential election was introduced in 1982. It was, and since then, presidential and parliamentary elections are held on the same day. So when you come into the polling station, you have two ballot boxes, two polling booths, that is. You go and vote your president candidate and go and vote for your parliamentary candidate on the same place. So you find out the same level of voter turnout is maintained. Now, but if somebody votes in the presidential and wait for 3 months to vote for presidential, rather parliamentary, then you have a problem. That person's interest may dwindle. But if it's held on the same day, so I would, and many observers have in fact pointed this to the IEC.
I think,
that one of the ways to fight voter apathy is naturally to have elections held on the same day.
I think,
for example, this particular one, the council election, the ward election that have passed, and the mayors could have been held on the same day. And then, but then of course, the Independent Electoral Commission, being the authority, have their reasons. But I think, I will add to our voice to many voices, whatever, for them to find a way of getting elections held in the same day.
Because a lot of people say if the voter turnout is not really good, like that causes a lot of issues for us. The credibility of even the election results, and also, it gives us bad leaders, because always most of the time it looks like it's the elderly people and the people that are not really educated that goes out and vote. The educated ones, why do they not go out, Kemo? That is really something that baffles me.
I think it has to do with, like I was saying earlier, and then secondly, I'd just like to add on what Mr. Cham is saying before I go further. I think when we are able to have all the elections on the same day, or because looking at our cycle, we had elections like every year since 2016. We had an election in 2016, 2017 we had an election, and 2018 we had an election. Looking at the funds that were even put into these elections, you realize that this could have been put into something else. And then talking about why people who are educated, I would blame these people for the position we are in today, for I'll say, because when we are supposed to go vote, they think all the candidates that have been presented to them are not capable enough, but they are not playing a very viable role in our politics, and they are not playing a role that would be able, because these are the decision makers, and when you don't participate in the decision making, anybody that the masses or any a group of people elect, this person is going to represent you. And now, if this person doesn't represent your interests, you think the person is a bad leader. So a bad leader, in our case, might be subjective depending on who is defining a bad leader. So it all comes down to what we are looking for. And what are we looking for as a people? And are we ready to take part in the decision making? And this has been the problem in the Gambia.
So what we're going to do first is to look at Banjul, the capital. It's important. It's important we have a good mayor. The state of Banjul right now is crazy. Definitely. And the people of Banjul are dying to have a very good leader. A lot of people really say the quality of candidates in KMC is a little higher like than Banjul. But again, I just want to go through who we have. We have Mr. Alajija. He's the candidate. He's an independent candidate. We have Lysen, the APRC candidate. Pamu Sanjay is a GDC candidate. Abdoulaye Ba is the incumbent. He's an independent candidate. I think he's somebody that people should watch out for.
Definitely.
And Paul Baz is an independent candidate. Lizzie Yunsen is an independent candidate. Ibu Fai, an independent candidate. We should look out for him as well. Polls are showing a very tight race between these three. Rugi Low for a candidate for UDP, and Adama Kelefa Samba is independent. But Cham, polls are tilting towards these three candidates: the UDP candidate, the incumbent Laiba, and Ibu Fai.
Yes, for a start, well, like you said, Banjul being the capital, of course, should be the pace setter when it comes to quality of people who are, we will have to vote into office.
Yeah.
Now, in Banjul, from the word go, I thought candidates like Rohi Low, Ibu Fai, were the two main contenders for some time.
Yeah.
But when Laiba, the incumbent mayor, emerged, and I look at, one or two visits to Banjul later, I began to feel that, well, the mayor, the current mayor, still have some strong connections with the people of Banjul.
Yes.
Because you remember he served there as councillor first before coming to win, against an incumbent in some. Now, the exit polls are showing that Laiba is doing very well in Banjul Central area. You can expect that.
Yes.
And you expect Ruji Low, her strongholds to be Tobacco Road area, where you have a lot of UDP supporters. Yeah. And Ibu Fai, a lot of youths are following him in the other areas. So they all seem to be doing well in the areas you expect them to do well. Yeah. But then, of course, we have to know that everything will have to wait down to the final tally. And
then the margins that they're winning in their strongholds also matters.
Because what happened is that I believe the candidacy of Fai and Laiba, if they were to match, they could really post a great threats for UDP in there.
Yeah.
Now remember, of course, UDP won 5 out of the 9 wards in Banjul.
Okay.
On the surface, that would suggest that, well, UDP might have some dominance there. But then, that is ward election. Sometimes it depends on the individual and not the party.
Yes.
So you cannot rely on that to say that UDP can have dominance in Banjul. It may well have to do with the personality that was elected. This one can be a completely different thing. But
on the results, especially looking at the strongholds of all of these independent candidates. Looking at that, they all have similarly the same support base. Now, looking at Ibufai and Laiba, I think they might have had the same support base. Now you'll
and Halasamba and Laiba as well.
Exactly. And you're looking at Rohilo and Ibufai too. Even if it doesn't, even if we're not talking on party lines, but people that the connection, because Banjul is a place that is a cosmopolitan place, where we have a mixture of everybody. Now, when it comes to trying to
surprise the youths and the support the incumbent mayor Laiba has in Banjul. I was really surprised. So I think what we will do right now is check if we have any. We're going to look at the candidates, get their reactions, because some people have been complaining about certain incidences in Banjul and of course in KMC too. So let's try if we can get Ibufai or Lizzie or Rugi. Kante, I think you can call them from my phone. Let's see if we have either Ibufai or Laiba or GDC candidate Panjai or Rugilo, and see what their reactions are, because there've been some incident that we have seen people reporting, but Cham, so I think it's important for us to just our own perspective. So when you go to vote, how many minutes are you allowed to spend in the booth? Like, how long are you allowed to spend in the polling booth?
Well, you are not supposed to spend any more time longer than the minute you spend to cast your ballot, your marble, and come out. If you stay any unreasonably longer, you raise suspicions. That is the system we have in the Gambia is more or less unique. To many places in around the world. Now, when you come and you cast your ballot, the marble. Once the marble landed on other ballots, you hear a sound, that shows that you have only used it once and come out. If you stay any reasonably longer, then you raise suspicion. But normally, police security are posted at the gate of the polling booths. If you stay reasonably long, the police will pop in to see what you are going to do.
What is going on?
Yes. So if you have trouble in not knowing how to cast your ballot, the police will show you where to place it, not on top of the ballot box, but inside it. Or the ballot box of your choice. So if you stay reasonably long, yes, you are going to raise suspicion. But we'd expect that security will check on you to see what exactly are you doing.
So Kemo, is it possible for anybody to be able to tamper with polling ballot boxes and empty it out or do any suspicious thing? Is it possible? Is there likely ways of anybody be able to do that in that short period of time?
Considering the time, I think it is really highly unlikely. Considering the time and considering how they are being, placed in the booths, it's going to be really unlikely for anybody to do that. But well, we cannot rule anything out.
Yes,
but I think it No, I don't.
With the level of, actually, we cannot rule out anything because with the level of the way these people. Okay,
Cham, if I may comment here. Well, if you look at what happened when the whole placing of the ballot box is done, it's highly unlikely that anybody can do it. Because they place all the ballot boxes in front of the party agents. And they showed everybody that this ballot box is empty. And then they seal the ballot box, and even the tapes on this, this ballot box have unique numbers. So you know that, okay, GDC candidates, this ballot, ballot is taped with this number. So practically, it's quite definitely impossible for anybody to tamper with that in the ballot, in the polling booth, without attracting notice. So, but then of course, ballot stuffing are common allegations, and we have to deal with that, no matter how transparent you think your process is.
Well, we cannot rule out anything, especially with the level of campaigning we have seen. I think I have Panjai Soti of GDC. We want to get him and get his reaction. Hello, Mr. Njai. Hello, Mr. Njai. Hello, Mr. Njai. Mr. Njai, naka nga def nak? Hello.
Hello.
Mr. Njai, naka nga def?
Hello.
Waaw, Mr. Njai.
Naam Fatou.
Waaw, naka nga def nak? Massa Chono.
Fatou na nga def nak?
Maa ngi nii Mr. Njai, ñu ngi nii live on suñ broadcast bi fii ci Eye Africa ak Kër Fatou. Ñu bëgg a seet rek wax la naka bés bi tey bi ngeen saanee karta ba tey mbaa. Dégguma la bu baax nga ne.
ma ne line bi moo.
waaw
yaa dégg léegi.
waaw maa ngi laa dégg waaw.
ma ne loo bëgg
dafa mel ni. hello yaa ngi maa dégg.
waaw maa ngi laa dégg.
ok ma ne bi ngeen saanee karta ba tey mbaa amu leen benn jafe-jafe bi ngeen demee saani karta ak naka la mel right now Banjul.
Well, Banjul mu ngi camp ba waaw kenn benn na waaw waaye ci gën a amoon nañ ay
Kante hold on Kante de monsieur Ndiaye déggaguñ ko xaaral ñu koolaat la because setut stand byal ñu koolaat la léegi dégg nga because setut dégg nga dinañ la koolaat I think he's saying something very important so moo tax I just wanted to cut it off there so we can get him again. See, it's important to have their reactions because they are the candidates, and then you know.
Well, I think it will be fairly too soon for some of them to have little time for interviews because at the moment they are very nervous. Time for them.
Yeah, but this is the best time to get them.
Yeah, that's
though.
right. Some
After
of them
this time, you cannot get any of them. I spoke to one candidate and he was like, "My call my bala results because after results, that was Talib. So you never know."
Yeah. Some of them might have a fair knowledge of
they
how
might
they are faring. So
yeah, so if we can get Mr. Njai, you try Kenan, you said. I think Lunyo def moy Lamin, we tried the KMC candidates that have confirmed. Sunmune try ñooñu, Bakari and the others, they are on standby right now. Rambo is on standby. Talib is also on standby. So family ñëwaat na. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Waaw, Mr. Njai.
Naam Fatou.
Waaw nga ne bi ngeen saane ba amu leen benn jafe-jafe.
Ñàkkul amoon na ci. Commencement bi ak
waaw lan mooy.
ak ay ñëw réglé ko. gars yi dem doon saagante. saagante waxante. at the end you don't want
kii mu ngi wax lu am solo waaye dafa mel ni we're having some issues getting him there. I think he's saying some very important things there. Some of the things that happened and I think we should try and get him back again.
yeah, absolutely. He started by drawing quite a gloomy picture.
Yeah.
Because I think I have something like ballot boxes been tampered with.
See, my issue is Banjul being this small, though, is causing a lot of issues. I think it's the level of.
I saw a lot of passion among a lot of supporters of different candidates in the build-up to the elections.
Yeah.
The campaign methods on social media were the subject of concern.
Yeah.
Where there were bitter exchanges of foul languages and all sort of things. There were condemnations, of course, from many quarters of such kind of language and such kind of behavior. That shows, of course, that people had a lot of interest. Some were very emotional about some of the issues that have been discussed. Some people, the way they support absolutely is quite unacceptable because, even democracy has its own ethics.
Limits, yeah.
I mean, you can criticize constructively, but don't get into personal things and, raising personal, things that can really cause discord among the people. So I think the future political supporters, the future voter in the Gambia, this is a point they should take home. I mean, we can criticize the candidates, criticize the party's policies, but don't go personal. Don't try to say things that will cause discord. The election will go and go.
Okay, I think we have Mr. Njai. Mr. Njai?
What?
Wow, Mr. Njai, nga ne la ling doon wax am na solo lool. Nga ne lan moo xewoon?
Waaw li nga woon mooy balaa ci dëkk tay dañ doon nekkal di bref parti saagante ñu accusante
God, Kente.
Very technical problem.
Kente, we have to fix this. It's technical. It's technical. But we will get it.
Gannaaw di daal accusante di saagante dem taw gars yi am problème ñu ne dañ tampa ak beneen candidate ak defee fight
So can you call from the other number? So I think network sila.
Yeah.
But then the social media, Kemo.
Yeah.
Lamin's just started talking about the social media. Do you think the social media got it wrong for Banjul?
I think they did.
You think social media got it wrong for Banjul?
But then you will not blame them.
On the social media, the hype was between Lizzie and Rohilo.
Yeah, I think they were making unnecessary rivalries, in my opinion, and then they forgot about the people that they should have been thinking of. And this is what has cost them, in my opinion. But I don't blame them because most of them want to see their city out of the ruins that it is in.
And they wanted,
yes, and everybody was thinking that my candidate is the best candidate.
I said this to somebody a few days ago. I said, for the UDP, they concentrated more on Lizzie and forgot about the incumbent, Laiba, who was mayor for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
We never had them bring out his record. What did he do for Banjul? Like all the things that happened, like they never brought Laiba up. All they were doing is dealing with Team Lizzie.
Yeah.
And even Ibu Fai. Ibu Fai is working, he's a civil servant.
Yes.
And he was, he's the manager of the stadium. He's been in the system. UDP could have used, a good political tactics and get to these people, but they concentrated a lot on Lizzie. Do you think if they lose, I'm not sure what's going to happen, do you think this might be one reason that cost them?
I think it's a two-sided way. Okay. It was both teams.
Sides. Yeah,
both teams were they were concentrating on each other a lot and forgot about all the other candidates.
Okay.
And I think if anything happens and maybe let's say Ibu or Laifai wins, I think this is something that they have to go back and revisit.
Yeah.
Because considering that they saw, I don't know the reasons, but they saw Lizzie as the main threat, and then Lizzie also for some reason her team saw Rohilo as the main threat. I don't know whether it's because she's been backed up by the party.
Is it because there are two women for the first time having women in the race?
That I don't think played a really big part. I think what played a big part is the rivalry between UDP supporters on social media and people in the diaspora.
Yeah.
because they've had this rivalry for a very long time since change happened.
Yeah.
We've seen the rivalry between supporters of the UDP and then supporters of the or people in the diaspora.
Yeah.
They have gone to a point of calling each other names and then having tags for each other.
Yeah.
So I think this played a really big part, because when you look at the chunk of Liz's supporters, there are people who are in the diaspora.
Yeah.
And then there are people, and then this is something that they've seen, that they've already had this rivalry going on. Now that they've had candidates, UDP as a candidate, and they have a candidate they're backing, they saw it as a challenge to see who could do better than each other.
Oh, is it because also Lizzie was really a good candidate? And
Lizzie was a candidate.
They saw her as a
definitely, you have to give her that.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to give her that.
Yeah.
I think, Fatu and Kemo, I'm quite particularly thrilled about the sheer volume of exchange that has been happening between the supporters of various candidates on social media, even among supporters here and abroad. And in fact, I think that those kind of exchanges are, as a nation generally, I think it's a measure of our progress as a nation.
Definitely.
Because this was a nation that was gagged for 22 years. Nobody was talking about politics. Suddenly, you saw a massive interest among the people in politics.
Definitely.
And that is manifested in this, massive exchange of ideas. As long as they stay civil, the exchanges are welcome.
I think we have Adama from KMC, so let's have him. Hello, Adama. Adama, nanga def? Adama, bi ngeen saane karta naka atmosphere bi mba amulen ben jafe-jafe bi ngeen demee saani karta?
Déedéet dañ doore campagne yu doon tey ñun benn jafe-jafe def nañ ko ba pare satisfy nañ ci luñ gis amuñ benn problème fenn actually ñu firnde yi mooy doomi Gambie war a amee doole ñooy tànn mu ngi jóg di ut seen carte seen carte mu war a nekk seen tabi ñu war ko dénk nag gis yoo xam ne nga leen mën a génne leen ci seen tool doomi KMC moom doomi KMC ñoo war a gis ne élection bi moo demee bu demee moo xam ne dina fair ñoom ñu mun ci am seen affaire ñoom ñu sànni carte ci jàmm ñu nekk ci jàmm ko.
Ok. dafa mel ni line bi tey moom line bi daf ñu bëgg a jëm fa tey moom. Hello. waaw bi ngeen sànnee carte ba pare comme ni nga ko waxee comme ñu ngi xaar results yi lan mooy expectation bi nag tey Mr Ba.
waaw ñu ngi xaar.
ok
su nekkee moom benn carte la am moom benn carte la am yow benn carte la am. su benn carte la am.
waaw.
ñëpp nag ñooy dem sànni. ñu dénk seen carte ak seen baax.
waaw
benn nit. ñu day amuñ ci benn jafe-jafe ñun li ñu def rek mooy wax nit ñi suñ programme. indi suñ kenn amuñ benn problème ak kenn li ñoo def rek mooy wax nit ñi seen programme pour ñu sànni leen. waaw su ñu sànnee ñu xam ne su sànnee keneen dañ jël ko indi de xam ni Gambia foofu la toll.
waaw thank you Mr Ba. Xam nga élection moom bu jeexee rek léegi mu am ay ñiiroo ŋaaro yi lan nga bëgg a dénku supporter yi ñi nga xam ne ñu ngi ci social media bi ak ñi nga nekk ci kër gi élection bu jeexee daanaka saa yu nekk rek da ngay gis ay ñiiroo ŋaaro yu ndaw yi lan nga leen bëgg a dénk.
daf ko jar ñu li ñu xamante mooy am Gambia am ay ñu nga doon jëloon fii politique dañ ko war a continuer nit ñi dañ war a yënaan nit ñi dañ war a ñëpp Gambie la naan bu yàqoo nit la yàq su baaxee nit la baax su ko ñëpp gisee ne ne rek surtout ñoo xam ne yàlla bu ñoom moo ko moom ñoom ñooy tànn fal ci élection parti dafa war a silsi waaw ba nga xam ne su nekk rek su fekk ne moom benn kàddu rek la am te mu am benn kàddu ak suñ compte yëpp ñu denc ko kenn ñëpp xam ne rek dëgg lañ ko denc ñun nag ci parti day élection géej la pour xam suñ nekkee suñ programme daa nit ñi ñu ko gën a jël suñ ko jëloon nag ñun duñ jaay de dañoo xam rek ne dañ war a gën a yokk liggéey bi da nga xam ne def dina ñëw nit ñi yombul dinañ gis lu ñëw loolu nag amul problème voilà
jërëjëf thank you very much honorable Adama di la gërëm bu baax a baax di la wax all the best nga nuyul ñu honorable Halifa Sallah ak waa doy yëpp nga nuyul ñu suñ brother Keks thank you very much for coming to the platform thank you ñu ngi laa gërëm bu baax a baax that was honorable Adama Ba sa caam si doy
yes Mr. Ba I remember one of the candidates, well, one of the people who came out to declare their intention much late in the
very late,
much late in the build up to the elections. But then, since he came, and I mean, he has an already established platform that is DOI, which has quite a good footing in KM, and I watched his campaign. The day of his nomination, I watched the DOI convoy to Bakau. And Honorable Halifa Sallah, for example, was moving from compound to compound, meeting and greeting people, and of course, soliciting their votes. And then, of course, in the usual manner, of course, giving them what DOI has to offer and what DOI style of leadership has to offer. And DOI, of course, has a great tradition of being very civil in their approach to things and in their treatment of disputes or of issues when they arise in election issues for that matter. And I can see from Mr. Bass, from his intervention here, that so far they have taken all things in good state. And he said, of course, DOI always use election results to measure and gauge, you know, not just their popularity, but in fact, the awareness of the people. Because DOI's platform had always been that, well, we want an environment where nobody will be induced, nobody will be forced, nobody will be fooled to vote. Now, if the results come and we check our votes, we say, okay, this amount of people actually went on and voted genuinely on party and policy matters without any influence whatsoever, then this is progress. Well, whether, of course, that means they will win or not, it's a different matter.
It's a different matter.
Yes.
We have another vibrant candidate, a very young candidate, who is also shaking KM, Mr. Bakari Baji. Mr. Baji, welcome to this special election night coverage. Hello, Mr. Bakari. Hello, Bakari. Hello, Bakari.
No, it's not Bakari. It's Daba.
Daba.
Oh?
No, call Bakari on this number.
Oh, Daba. Wa Daba. Daba. Indil ñu Bakari nak yow tam.
No, call on Daba.
Wa Daba.
Yeah.
Daba bala ñoo am Bakari ñu bëgg laajte rek tay what's your reaction bi ngeen yow yaay communication yi Bakari Baji biñ sané carte ba tay mba amu leen ben jafe-jafe.
Non, amul jafe-jafe sant Yàlla rek la ñoo def comme ne digal nañ ci bismillahir rahmanir rahim génn nañ ci alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
OK.
ñun ñëpp xam nañ ne ñun ndaw lañ taxawuñ ci parti.
Waaw.
Amuñ financial muscles like rek candidate bi. Foreign resources suñu nekk di jël di jot ñun loolu dal na suñu xel trop. Mel ni ñun campagne nañ on a plateforme boo xam ne agenda jaay nañ ko nit yi te am na ñeneen suñu ñoo xam ne déglu nañ ko. So loolu lu ma wane rek mooy ne gëm nañ ne démocratie Gambie tam mu ngay jëm si kanam. So nañ dina ñaar rek ñu dina liggéey. Suñ jógee si tamit ak lu mun di am rek. ñun dañoo nangu liggéey bu ñu nekkoon comme doomu réew dinañ ko continuer. Luñ commencé nii tamit dinañ ko continuer parce que ñun dañ gëm ne ñun am nañ cër ndaw ñi am nañ cër si réew mi. te baax na trop ndaw ñi jóg dugg ci politique mënatuñoo toog si digg di wax ne xaw ma intérêt ci politique nii wala du ma def leen nii. donc foog naa ne ñun King Bakary teg nañ message mboolem ndaw bu nekk ak Gambia tey. soo xoolee ñun luñ def. ak nitu ressources suñu am. li am solo mooy ne suñu bëggee ñu ñëpp ñu nekk benn. mun nañoo am lu bari. waaw lu ñoo gën a ñaan nit ñi rek mooy mboolem ku support Bakary oo ku support Bakary tamit ak lu IEC mun a announce.
waaw
nañ ko nangu ñu delluwaat ñun ñëpp ñu joxante loxo.
waaw
ñu liggéey ñu jégalante parce que xam nañu politique daf dee métti soo léegi wala nit ki dina caalit dama wax loo xam ne sax du ko tey. waaye ñun King Bakary képp ku nga xam ne wax nga lu ñaaw jëmale ko si ñun. ñu ngi laa jégal. képp ku nga xam ne nii tamit ñun yaakaar nga ne ekkati nañ lu ñaaw jublu ko si yow. wala wax nañ dëgg boo xam ne fi nga ne la naari. ñu ngi laa jégalu. ñun suñ campagne moo nekkoon ne wax dëgg rek mu ngi tax a jóg soo dëgg nag dafa naari su ko waxee ñeneen ñi dañ gis seen boppa waaye ñun amuñ benn personal issue with anybody wala political party wala individual wala candidate ñun luñ gis ñun ñëpp doomi Gambia la ñoo bokka ndey ñoo bokka baay. képp ku waa KMC Sané ñun jox nañ la suñu loxo gom nañ ne war nañoo mun a liggéey soo ko bëggul tëdd ñun suñu nekkoon démba dinañ ko continuer di def mooy taxawal askan bi nekk ci soxla askan bi ak wax li nga xam ne gis ne jaar na yoon ak suñu gisee lu jaar yoon tam ñu ne lii jaar na yoon daal.
waaw
waaye dinaa la teg dina dama ko xam ne soo xoolee Bakary bi.
waaw very positive message Daba kontaan nañ bu baax a baax so dinañ la call si kanam text ñu number bi ñoo mën a amee Bakary and then ñu wax moom but this is a very very strong and positive message coming from a youth. Kemo is impressive. It's very impressive.
This is what we are all looking for.
Yeah.
And this is what we are all fighting for. We are all fighting to see a Gambia where we see each other as brothers and sisters instead of competitors. So to hear him say things like this, gives me hope that the future is bright. So definitely.
This election gives me a lot of hope. This election gave me a lot of hope in the youth of this country. The number of participation and the messages coming from the Gambian youth. It's even parties that were traditionally looked like UDP. People always say Kebala Patiolong. But this time around, like most of their candidates from the National Assembly to this one is they push the youths out there. Look at Bakary Baji,
look at
Talib Bensouda. These people are young and their messages are very positive. And I think that is very encouraging. And we should encourage that.
And this is why it is important that young people play a part in these things that are happening now. Because with time, we are going to be in these positions. And until we take center stage and then until we take ownership, it's not going to change. And the change we're seeking for, are we really ready to take it? And these elections has shown us that the youths are ready. Because looking at Bakary Baji's team, he is a candidate backed by young people because of the young people that he has worked with. From the Gambia Red Cross to the Child Protection Alliance, Voice of the Young. He's been backed by young people. Look at Talib. His peers and the party. And look at the councillors that he has. All of these councillors are really, really young people. You will count one or two people who are old, but then the majority of his councillors are young people. And then these are the people that have been doing the campaigning for him. And it goes to show that the young people are actually, the voter turnout might not be as good as we are aspiring it to be, but you could see that the participation is increasing and young people are taking part in politics of the country. So I think it's a good part.
Kante, can we have Talib, because he was also on standby. But Lamin, talking about Talib, being a young person, I think he has attracted a lot of people who are not traditionally UDP to the UDP party. I saw a video of certain people endorsing Talib, the young people. I was like surprised. Naturally, those people are not even a UDP supporter. Do you think you young people in election might help some parties get certain number of votes compared to what their traditional people voting for them will be?
Well, it depends on how many of those youths are actually registered voters.
Yes.
Because what happened in the past elections was that young people are always in front of the crowd and in front of any movement that is happening, but very few of them get registered. Now that trend have changed, but it has changed at a time when it was already late for majority of the youths to get the voters card. Remember, of course, with the advent of the victory of the coalition in 2017 up to now, it looks like you have opened a floodgate of interest in politics among Gambian youths. Look at the sheer number of candidates in Banjul and Kem, for example, and look at the ward elections. You have, wow, you can't count. You cannot count a record number of people aspiring to become politicians. Now, all this shows and paint a scenario that in the immediate future, not just in fact this this election cycle, but the next election cycle coming, there's going to be a whole lot of
young people
involved, either as voters or as people aspiring to have to hold public office. So we may have a complete brand new set of politicians and voters in the not too distant future.
And that's promising, Kimo. That's what we want.
And then just talking about the support base of Talib, and then you were saying you've seen few number of people support him or endorse him who didn't
are not traditionally UDP,
or are not traditionally people that take part in politics as a whole. I think it has to do with people that you can relate with. That is what politics is all about. People that you feel you have a sense of belongingness with. So this is why if we have more young people taking part in politics, we would be able to have more, they would be able to, bring in more young voters. So I think we are going through a revolution as a country, especially in our political space. So, and even political parties are going through these revolutions. Like, for example, you have said UDP used to be seen as an elderly party. Or for example, UDP used to be seen as a Mandenka party. But now they have brought in a candidate who is in Mandenka. And then this is showing a new image of the party. And then they have brought in young people to stand for these councillor elections. And they've won really well. So it's showing that they are going through a revolution, and I think a lot of parties would also take the same route, and then they would also see that this is the way, because like I always say, UDP most of the time is always a step ahead when it comes to the politics in Gambia. So I think it's up to other political parties also to look at these things they're doing and also emulate them, so they could also be on the same stage.
Politics is all about ground game, Lamin. You have to have a strong ground game to be able to win. But what I have seen, even with the independent candidates, is the door-to-door campaigns.
Absolutely.
People were campaigning every single. They were not just relying on these traditional rallies. They were doing door-to-door campaigns.
I think what happened generally, Fatu and Kemo, is that the political landscape changed dramatically post December 2nd presidential elections, because you can see, like a weather, suddenly we see a big political party like the APRC collapsed, so to speak. They would say, of course, there were hurdles placed in front of it, but then you can see they lost.
Well, Lamin, I want to come in there. Do you think the APRC really collapsed? If you take the incumbency out.
Now, yes, go ahead.
If you take the incumbency out, right? Now that they are not in power. But APRC is still getting a lot of votes.
But look at,
I think APRC is going to.
Let me tell you, Nate, like I tell you, when you look at the campaign, the numbers you see, and when it comes to actual voting, you don't see those numbers. For example, we saw when the APRC came in a big resurgent rally that we call resurgent revival rally at the buffer zone, which they themselves claim was 50,000 people, 50,000 march. And then we saw what happened in the ward elections.
I think I have Bakari. Let's do Bakari, and then this thing is Bakari. Hello, Bakari.
Hello.
Wow, bro, naka nga def nak?
Alhamdulillah, maa ngi fay.
Wow, tey nag biñ saanee carte ba pare, bro, naka la atmosphere? How was the atmosphere? Mbaa amu leen benn jafe-jafe bi ngeen saanee ba pare?
No, amuñ jafe-jafe. Man actually dama demoon draft suba. After la ñëw dama dem def vote bi around 12:30. Yes, so amuñ any problem. Generally elected was good at except for few things that happen, not very major.
Yeah, can you elaborate on that and just speak up a little louder? Can you elaborate on Lolu?
Oh no, in some places, this guy then you want them. Ningi dan jam football, especially in the two states of Minnesota and one in Challenge. Then they make a football field and another one at the mall. And one of them is Challenge. They said when they bring to get vote.
Wow.
They will not look at you through the opening.
Oh, do
they make a ballot marble with them? So they try that number that's for and then put up and do that again and you know that's a guy and then after guy
I'm not hearing Bakari Buba. So when that happened, did they report it in IECB and was it taken care of?
Well, report to the IEC and they also told us about it as a team. Well, actually, we call it IEC, they don't want a low possible. You know, but the person, King Am, the Mom Ladal, Momo gain a same work. And so, you know, okay, then I could change on marble, we change alcohol. After eventually, I must move for them now, and then I called Tal, who is the regional officer.
Yeah.
And then Muchubu on the ground. And Mudem Chidir said, and then he asked us to leave, that he was going to address it. So I explanation on the point that those drums are newly painted. So sometimes paint with after tough game and get up there our time. The other explanation when marbles are not of the same size. But most of them are the same, but there are few they are bigger than the normal size. So people get to develop data. All you need to do is come out, tell the officer, and the officer will change the marble for you. But you know, voters wouldn't know that. You know.
So, but that voter was able to vote after that issue, right?
I'm sorry?
Vote after Mujena vote, right?
Somebody muna hapuntinit report. Some other people
Kenen ki muna banya report. Wow.
So lola nak but hamna nye receive nañ ini voter si park bi amna ñaar ñoo xamne report nañ ci ñu.
Okay.
Pagi Jola, am nañ 3 ñoo xamne report nañ the same problem. 2 at one polling station and the other one at another polling booth.
Oh, okay. Wow. I hope the IEC takes care of things like that because it's very, very important. Every single vote counts. So Bakari, what is the expectation at the end of the night? I know the polls are closed already. What is you and your team lan gonna expect at the end of the night?
Well, going to office where we are collecting the results, and you know, we're just holding on to see what is going to be the outcome. I am not there definitely, so I don't know what's going to happen. But we expect, you know, my win.
Okay.
But if, of course, it happens otherwise, we will just understand that that is what the people of the municipality wish, and I will just respect it.
Wow. Finally, Bakari, elections nekk na loo xam ne bu results yi génnee supporters yi dañ dee dugga si léegi-léegi ñi mer léegi-léegi ñi kontaan ban message nga bàyyi sa supporters yi ñu nekk si kër gi ak ñu nekk si social media bi what message are you going to bàyyi leen pour ñu xam ne if it goes either way they should respect the will of the people and ñu bañ am violence si dëkk bi ban message nga am pour sa gaay
comme ni ko waxee election is just a process where nit ñi ñu choose pour mu jiite leen so ñun we will respect it and then of course dinañ urge supporters yi and those who believe in us that we have run a very clean campaign. You know, no influence of anything, and then we presented the people our program. If the people think they want to vote the other way around, we will encourage the people to just accept it, and you know, and congratulate the winner if it is somebody else different from us.
Wow.
But the bigger task is the work ahead.
Yes.
We all have some great intentions for the municipality. That doesn't change anything. We will continue to do what we are doing, and even increase it if the opportunity is there. You know, so the people of this municipality probably wouldn't have anything to regret.
Yeah. Wow, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bakari, and all the best. Thank you very much. I think that's a very strong message, Lamin. I have this year, the caliber of candidates we have, the maturity, the message, the positive message they send out, especially in KM, is very impressive, Lamin.
Yeah, Bakari in particular really charmed a lot of people.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are impressed with his gentleness, his very nature and approach was quite really impressive to a lot of people. And in fact, there are people who had a strong feeling that he should have, run on a party ticket.
I know, man.
Now, I remember when he came from the United States, news about his intention to run actually was on social media before I actually had the opportunity to meet him.
Yes.
When he came to our office, then we started running this mayor's podium profiling aspirants, even before the nomination.
Yeah.
Well, I told him that from research, a lot of people told us that Bakari should contest for the APRC at the time.
Yeah.
And we put this to him.
Yeah.
It was not coming from us, but from people
From the
we
people.
talked to.
Okay.
And he said, well, that really may, from a narrow perspective, that may be very tempting or very acceptable by people naturally, just as how things are unfolding now politically. Yeah. But he said, I am supported by people who would not have agreed with APRC. So I cannot identify myself with a party cause.
And then he is very, very committed to
what
he believes in.
Yes, he said he believed that if he goes independent,
yeah.
that's the time he can embrace everybody and everybody can embrace him.
Yeah.
And then he will do a perfect job, not at the whims and caprices of a party, but actually with the satisfaction of everybody despite their political affiliations.
Yeah.
So his platform was very clear, and a lot of people are very impressed with it. But like I said, he
was the first candidate to put out a manifesto.
Yes.
And a lot of people followed suit. See, sometimes these things make some candidates bring a lot of I don't know how to say it. They bring standard into the race, and I think that's what Bakari did.
And you see, that is very important in a process, a democratic process.
Yeah.
When you have quality candidates, whose platforms are not based on isms, but on pure, message.
Yeah.
Then that's an inspiration. Whether or not they win, that's a very, very good inspiration.
Yep.
And Bakari was that kind of person.
Yeah.
But like I said, because there are too many candidates.
Okay, I think we have Pamodu Bojang all the way from Brikama. Pamodu Ibenyadi. Hello, Pamodu.
Yes, Fatu.
Ibenyadi.
Yes, Fatu, I'm at the Gambia College right now. Right now, ballot boxes have been brought up here. At the moment, all what I can tell you, Fatu, this is what you've been said in voter apathy like previously in the previous elections. So I had few interviews with the officials of the IEC and some voters, but then unfortunately I didn't have that audio with me here, but nonetheless I will share it with you later on.
Okay.
Yeah, but as of now, I can see that boxes have started coming in. Right now, I saw 2 gelegeles coming from Pony. I'm not sure which area of the Pony exactly. But then I can tell you here, Gambia College is filled with people here, who are eager to know the official result from the IEC. But in town center in Bekama here, UDP people have already started jubilating.
Wow.
Yeah, but we're still waiting for the official result from the IEC because we couldn't confirm anything as far as media professionalism is concerned.
Yeah.
So we have to wait until the final result is out here in Bekama.
Wow.
Then I will let you know.
Wow. So how is the mood like? How is the mood like in Brikama and surroundings, Pamodu?
Sorry, say that again.
How is the mood like in Brikama right now?
Well, as I told you, there's a mixed feeling here. As far as I'm observed. I can see other people, jubilating, but other people are very somber at the moment.
Yeah.
Because, this is a counting, on the spot.
Yes.
So basically, people will know the result, well before the IEC will officially announce them. So the atmosphere here is very somber. People are very peaceful, and I can tell you the whole of West Coast region, there was no major reports of irregularities or incidents.
Okay.
So the elections, have been, going on very smoothly. Now, I can see two other Kerekeles coming from Pony again. So it's gonna be great, and then it's gonna be quite tense here.
Okay.
As far as I see people coming, to the Gambia coming from every angle here. When I arrived here, it's like 30 minutes ago. There were no many people here, but right now I can see IEC officials coming all over. So I can tell you, despite the voter apathy, despite the voter apathy, the election process in the West Coast region was very peaceful, and now the election is closed. People waiting for the results.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
But like I told you, there is a massive celebration in town. I don't know where UDP get the results from.
I mean,
but they are celebrating.
They are celebrating already. So we will wait for the official results per modu. But yes, please stay with, come back to us later on if the results are announced, and then give us what is happening on the ground. And thank you very much. That's Pamodu Bojang Member Caring, all the way from Brikama. Thank you very much. Brikama is also a very interesting area, Lamincham.
Yes. Well, West Coast, that is.
West Coast, yeah.
Yeah. What really happened is that in the build-up to the nominations.
Yeah.
The United Democratic Party, for example, they had introduced a primary system, and this Sirifo Sonko, and one Sane Baba X, well known, I forgot the actual name, and then one Fat Cham of Sukuta, were in the race for the UDP ticket. And what actually happened is that Sirifo Sonko came out first, followed by Fatu.
Yeah.
Baba X was, eliminated.
Yes.
There was meant to be a second round, but apparently I think they arrived at a consensus at some point. Then Sirifo Sonko remained as the candidate. Now, there is an APRC candidate. Yeah. There's also an independent candidate.
But the independent is a breakout from APRC.
Well, yes.
Yeah, so that might split the vote for the APRC. Right?
So a lot of people believe that because Baba X, who came from Brikama, was not selected, he might have people who might get disgruntled with the UDP for him not being selected, and then Brikama might just be a difficult area for the UDP.
Yeah.
But then compared to the rest of the region, the Komba Souths, the Sanementrens, the Olyundums, and the Busumbala constituencies, there they don't know any man, they know only the party caller. And obviously that as Pamo is saying, it suggests that UDP is almost certainly going to win that.
Yeah.
And more importantly, we are hearing unconfirmed results from Banjul, which says it's also UDP. In fact, they are celebrating there, according to...
They are already celebrating.
An eyewitness I called who was in the midst of the celebration. They said Rohilo won that seat. And he said he had also a similar thing in the case of Taliban Suda in KM. Now, of course, we have to wait for the IEC to confirm this. But then people are celebrating a UDP victory in Banjul, particularly. That one is very clear.
Well, these are unconfirmed reports, but we will wait for the official reports from the IEC. What we'll do is just take a first commercial break, and when we come back, we will just go back and look at what's happening, talk to our correspondents across the country.
Universal Properties the dynamic and most trusted agency in real estate and property management.
We are here to make housing affordable, accessible for every Gambian, despite their financial status.
What makes Universal outstanding in the market is our flexible payment plans.
We set standards in sales and letting of quality properties, mortgage, leasing, rentals, property valuation, construction, and many more.
All our sites are fitted with social amenities such as schools, water, electricity, praying ground, and a good road network. In Sukuta Phase 1 and 2, Jambanjeli, Sanyang, Brikama, Lamen Daranka, and Gunjur coming up soon.
Doing business with Universal Properties, it's a very wonderful experience.
Universal Properties, FIB House, Caraba Avenue.
Now that I have saved some money to build my dream home, I'm really confused about which estate company to approach. My friend had a bad experience with a particular estate agency after completing his payment and could not even get his title deed. This is serious.
Good afternoon. How are you? Thank you. My name is Oli. I'm from IEC Investments.
Understood.
Thank you.
You know, I must say you came at a very right time.
Really?
I was thinking about houses.
Great.
What can your company offer me?
IEC Investments can offer you a lot. We're unique in the market.
Okay.
We own our properties and we ensure that they're developed with modern technologies. They're affordable and they are strategic locations. We don't just sell pieces of land, but we create settlements.
What makes your company different from others?
We're different from all real estate companies in the Gambia because what we have to offer is affordability, safety, and security. We ensure that you get a legal contract from when you pay your deposit, and within 4 weeks of paying your final settlement, we make sure you receive your title deed.
4 weeks?
4 weeks.
That's interesting.
Yes. Now tell me, what real estate service you need?
It's absolutely EJ Investment and Real Estate Agency.
Universal Properties, the dynamic and most trusted agency in real estate and property management.
We are here to make housing affordable, accessible.
It has been a long, long journey to freedom. Now that the new Gambia is here, there are a lot of challenges. Are you ready for the discussions?
Gambia bu ees xalaat yu bees waxtaan biir Kër Fatou dina ëmb lu bari li nga xam ne ñor na askani Gambia.
Join us for a special waxtaan on the way forward. Welcome back to this special election night coverage. iAfrica in partnership with Kër Fatou, of course, powered by NAWEC, EJ Investment, Approved Services, and Universal Properties. Champion, sorry, Lami Cham. I don't know why I'm calling you champion.
Yeah, it's not you always.
Cham, results are interesting. The results that are coming in are very interesting. We are not officially confirming any results. Yeah. We're waiting for the IEC, but the reaction from the social media and of course what we are also hearing underground, very interesting. Might be a good night for the UDP.
Yes, it has always looked like, you know, the UDP is the party to beat in these elections. If you study the scenario all along, you know, because you know they have virtually no contest in most regions, you know, outside Banjul and KM. And you know KM, they have a lot of support if the ward elections were anything to go by. Now, of course, you know, most of the results in the ward elections had to do with personalities, but you cannot dispute the fact that generally the United Democratic Party proved to be the biggest party at the moment. Now, I had said earlier, unless there is some sort of an alliance against the UDP candidates, the unprecedented number of independent, you know, candidates, or candidates generally speaking, would mean that the votes will split. And if the UDP can guarantee maximum turnout among their supporters, and since it is first past the post, it's almost certainly going to be easy for their candidates to win. And this is what certainly seemed to be the case in Banjul. Yeah. I told you from the very beginning, candidates such as Ibu Faye were seen to be very much popular and the biggest threat at the time to Rohi. Yeah. But then with the emergence of Laiba, who has a strong connection with Banjulans, being the incumbent, he suddenly is going to eat into a territory that you would have thought would have gone to Ibu Faye. Yeah. Then came Lai Sen of APRC. Yeah. He too was a National Assembly member for one of the Banjul constituencies, and suddenly must have some bit of connection with the electorates there. Yeah. So all this is going to eat up, and Adam Hala Samba, all this is going to eat up in the territories that a single candidate might have gathered against a UDP candidate. Since that did not happen, the vote split among the independent candidates in such a way that it became easy for Rohi, to win by simply ensuring that he has a maximum turnout among her supporters. And that seemed to be the case in Banjul. Of course, we are yet to confirm, yet to be confirmed, but obviously it's almost certainly true that Rohi have won the seat for the UDP.
If Rohilo wins, she becomes the first female mayoress of the capital city. Yeah. How important is that, Kemo? How important it is to have a lady leading the council?
Yeah, it is really, really important, and because we have seen how women have been lacking when it comes to Gambian politics, be it the patriarchal nature or being whatever that is in our society. But I think if Rohilo wins, it will be a very good starting point for women, especially when it comes to politics and running for, really high positions. Yeah. Dr. Aissatou Toure was an example, but although it didn't go through. Yeah. So Rohilo winning, well, it was for UDP to lose. Yeah. Yeah, but coming out winning, and then with all she had to go through the obstacles of only being a woman, for example. Yeah. And not only her, but with Lizzie too.
Lizzie as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Just being a woman is a challenge in Gambian politics, and her coming out and winning, goes to show a lot that there is still a revolution going, and there is a consciousness coming into the people that your gender really doesn't really play in your leadership qualities. Yeah. But what you have to offer is what they're looking for. Yeah. So I think it's a good thing that we're seeing women taking part. Yeah. And if she wins, it's a good thing for Gambian women. And I think everybody needs to support her in making this,
Lamin, if it's true that she wins, her dad was a mayor before, and then it seems like she's just stepping into his dad's shoes. But then the most significant part is the first female mayoress to lead the capital. Is that significant? How significant is that? Go ahead, Lamin.
Yes, I said that really is history. Should the IEC come and confirm Rohi's victory as the head of the Banjul City Council, a woman for the first time?
Yeah.
It's interesting. Now, of course, yes, like you said, her father, Alhaji Malik Low, was the mayor in the 1970s.
Yeah.
I think up to the late 70s he was. So she naturally inherited politics at that level.
Yeah.
But then the generation is completely different.
Yeah.
And Rohi, I read her manifest or vision. I mean, she was among the first to come out.
Yeah.
And she had a lot of interesting things, particularly how to help the women folk and the youth folk.
Yeah.
I mean, she being a businesswoman, she put a lot of emphasis on women, how women can be empowered to generate revenue for them to able to become business entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And then she also said she's not going to take a salary, but most importantly, she's not going to take salary.
Wow.
She said that.
Yes.
And the people will look forward to that.
Yeah.
And that will go very well. But being also a woman, we hope that she definitely will mark herself out and craft, an image for herself to show the people that women can do what men can do, and perhaps even better, because we are in the new Gambia, and everyone is now aligning him or herself to do something differently.
Yeah.
Now, to be frank, at the beginning of the campaign, when people like other candidates, such as her biggest rival in this whole show, which turned out to be
Lizzie.
the other lady, Lizzie.
Yeah. Yes.
When all this hullabaloo started, a lot of people felt that the supporters of Unison have gone too far by personalizing issues and triggering a lot of personal hatred and exchanges between them. That, as Kemo observed not long ago, has really put a lot of sympathy on the way of Rohi.
Yeah.
Her campaign team were very composed. They did not engage themselves into exchanges of those ugly exchanges. And a lot of people around the world sympathized. I've seen people who would normally have, nothing to do with the UDP, but they said, look, if I were in Banjul, I'll vote for Rohi, simply because of the, at the time, the malicious comments that were made about her.
Yeah.
Now, if she turns out to be the winner, I would appeal for her to show magnanimity in
And
victory
bring the
by
people-
embracing everybody.
Yeah.
And work very hard to get everybody to believe in her policies and her actions. So it's going to be really great history has been made tonight.
Yeah. Great history if the results that we are getting are true.
Yeah.
Great history as a woman, as a activist, female activist. A lot of women will be excited if she becomes the mayor.
Yeah.
But again, it's not just being a woman. It's also being a woman who can deliver.
Yeah, competent.
That really matters as well. Some of her policies were really criticized on social media.
Yeah.
When she talks about how to help the ordinary women, the grassroots women,
Yeah.
people saw that as small issues, small things. But again, like someone said to me personally, they don't get it. It's like helping the little people that makes us big.
Yeah.
Talking about her policies, how do you think, if she is the next mayor of Banjul, how is her policies really helping the little people, the small, the women, the market women? How would that affect the economy of the capital city?
Yeah, there was a time that she was talking about microfinance.
Yeah.
And I think this is a really important point of our policies. And then this was something that she buttressed on with giving some examples that were made fun of during the campaign. But when you look at it, I think what she was talking or what she was saying goes back to what you were saying, that she's looking at the average Banjulian, the average Banjulian woman who is the bana, or you would say, and how do you help these people generate income for themselves, that they don't have to depend on other people? Because you look at Banjul and you look at the dependency ratio, Banjul being a place where you have a lot of family compounds and you have extended families in most of the compounds, you see that there's a lot of dependency on one person or two people. So I think this is what she was trying to buttress on, and how do you make everybody independent? It depends on how you connotatively understand what she was saying, but I think this is what she was trying to point at, which is the microfinance. And I think this is what Gambia needs right now. We need leaders that would make people job creators, not job seekers, because we're seeing that the central government cannot give everybody that job that we're looking for. So we need to make ourselves job creators, and I think this is one of our most important economic policies, and I would like to see her, executed if she is elected mayoress.
Yeah,
definitely.
But again, see, Banjul is in a dial state. Banjul is like, I don't even know how anybody can change Banjul around in the next 5 years. What do you think should be her first priorities?
Well, she herself said she has, of course, to make Banjul, a city to be proud to live in. That's what she first said in her listing, and she said she intends to do this. She intends to do this through various means. That is making people who have left Banjul to think of going back or spending a lot more time in Banjul than they do nowadays, and that is by bringing Banjul to where it is. Of course, that will be difficult because everything about Gambia was in Banjul, in the 60s and 70s and before. Banjul was everything. Everything Gambian was Banjul. It went up to a point that if Banjulas want to talk about Gambia, they will say, "Wa Banjul," when they actually mean Wa Gambia. It showed you that Banjul was everything. But now a lot of people have left Banjul. Now, how you turn around Banjul, to make it a place where people want to live and work, would certainly take a lot of work on the part of whoever becomes mayor. But according to Rohi, she said she wants to improve and make Banjul a hub for business, especially the ordinary woman, the youth to be employed. And he said they are going to introduce what used to be in the past, this periodical settles, that people used to drum and go into a street and clean the place, and then somebody somewhere will come and pay them. Those kind of things, he said, will help. And then the spraying, I remember reading her and manufacturer said in the past, there used to be weekly spraying of the gutters in Banjul. He said that will be restored, and then he said that will help with some incentive, that will help people to be motivated to clean the place by themselves. So all these are part of her plans. And she needs a strong team and strong resilience and commitment to be able to fulfill her many campaign promises, so to speak, because there are too many.
Let's talk about her biggest competitor, Lizzie. A very good candidate.
Definitely.
Very good
Before
candidate.
Kempson, well, in terms of, of course, politics is all about articulation and eloquence. Somebody can have the best programs, but if he or she cannot communicate articulately, there you have a problem. But somebody too can be very articulate and, very good in communications and probably lacks substance. Now, Lizzie's campaign was, when she came, she really attracted a lot of people as somebody who has substance. I mean, she speaks very eloquently and communicates effectively. And a lot of people are impressed that she would do a better job as a head of the Banjul City Council than even some men. But then, whether that makes her a winnable candidate, because even at the start, to be honest, I never thought those latecomers, Lindsay, well, she actually argued that she didn't come late. She actually had made her intention known even before Rohi.
Yes, she said that.
She said that. But people like Yinsin, Baz, Jar, to be frank, I never thought those people I never considered them from the start to be top contenders, actually. Until, of course, this hullabaloo broke out between Yunsin and Rohi. I never thought Yunsin would have really attracted a lot of following like the Ibu Faiz and perhaps like Baz. But then I've always known that the more candidates you have, the better the chance of the United Democratic Party, because all they need to do is to concentrate on getting all their supporters to vote. And the large majority of votes, of course, is going to the losing candidates, but then it's going to them individually. So the United Democratic Party will collect the most votes if you go individually, and that's what actually happened. So you see, one challenge that Rohi will have is that she must realize that she didn't win the popular vote.
Well, I mean, we
but
have
that
not,
goes to the losing
we have not still confirmed the results.
Well, I've been talking to many sources in Banjul, and actually, I can say almost certainly it's factual.
Okay, so so let's talk about Lizzie. Definitely, Lizzie, her entrance into this race when she came, that banker in her, very eloquent, right? She looks very smart, well dressed. The corporate image in her. She attracted a lot of support. Yeah. Even when she came as an independent, she attracted a lot of support, especially on social media. Yeah. What do you think really attracted a lot of people to her, especially the educated ones?
Yeah. Like I said earlier, politics is all about being able to relate with.
Yeah.
Or having a sense of belongingness. Lizzie being a banker or an international banker. And then being somebody who has been in the international sphere for a long time, on appointment. Yeah. A lot of educated people thought or saw her as somebody that they relate with.
Yeah.
And this is somebody, this is part of our own setting of society.
Yeah.
And they saw, okay, this is somebody that I can trust, and this is somebody that I can give my vote to.
Yeah.
And this is what happened. And I still think we have that big divide in our politics as Gambians. We have, a divide between the upper class and then the lower class. And this really plays a very big part in politics. But she had really good plans. And she had, I think, I had hope in her and Rohilo because of all the social media noise that was going on. But I think like you said earlier, they have not been paying attention to the things that are happening on the ground.
Yeah.
And this might be the thing that, of course, we've seen it during the National Assembly elections with candidates that were very popular with the diaspora.
Yeah.
Or candidates that were very popular on social media. But when it came down to the ground, people that were really unknown, won. And I think it also happened during the councillor elections. Now it's happening now. So I think this is a point of call for future politicians to realize that the campaign is not on social media alone. It plays a very viable part, it plays a very big part, but the people you're going to serve, the people you're going to work with, and the people that are going to vote for you are the most important. And I think we need to, focus on energy more on the people down here than trying to please the people up there.
Yeah.
And I think this is something that every politician should realize and see that this is what they need to work for.
And Laiba, do you think, before we go to Laiba, do you think it matters a lot that candidates come out early? I think people like Rugi came out a year ago.
Definitely.
She came out early and they started campaigning door to door. Lizzie also came out, even though you were a little late, but came out early. Yeah. And Ibu Fai also, because Ibu, I don't know who's coming first, second, third, but I know it's going to be between these three, Ibu, Lizzie, and Laiba. Because Laiba, Ibu have been campaigning longer than all of these kind of people like Paul Bass. They came very late in the race.
And then, like I was saying, the social media campaigning, you could see that Laiba and Ibu Fai don't really have a strong social media backing.
No, they don't, no.
Yeah, but we're seeing that in the exit polls, we're seeing they've really done really, really well.
Yeah.
So like I was saying, it has to do with the ground.
Okay, I can say, I have said this in a local government election. Some campaigns, right? For example, some campaigns were able to translate their support from the social media to the ground. Yeah. But some have not been able to do that. Yeah. Somebody like Lizzie has a lot of support and strong presence on social media. Yeah. You would expect that should have been translated on the ground. Yeah. But I'm not sure if that happened.
That is the fundamental difference. Because actually most of the people who were rooting for Lacey and some other candidates, you find out that people are more active on social media than even the people on the ground.
Definitely.
And a lot of people in social media have always raised this concern that, look, it is not the social media that actually will help these candidates. The actual voters will really tell the story. And that's the situation here.
Yeah.
It's clear. Not all the people who come out, like I said about nominations, like not all the people who come out to help the candidates to put up a strong visibility, show are actual voters.
Yeah.
Now the real thing comes down to how many actual voters do you attract to the polling station to come and vote for you? It matters a lot.
Yeah.
And this is what has. I don't even think Lisi is anywhere near second. It has to be. The facts are coming, but it has to be Lai or Ibu who will be second.
Second.
Almost certainly.
And I think you're talking about trying to translate your votes from social media onto the ground.
Yeah.
I think it has to do with it also has to do with your support base.
Yeah.
Who are your support base? Is your support base based in the diaspora?
Yeah.
Or is your support base based on Gambians that are on social media? I think that also plays a really a very big part. So if your support base on social media are Gambians who are in the Gambia, you definitely have a very big chance of translating it. Yeah. But if your support base is Gambians based in the diaspora, unfortunately, the diaspora does not have a vote. Yeah. So I think that also plays a very big part. Yeah.
Yes, that's actually has been the scenario.
Wow, very interesting. I think what we're going to do now is take a break, watch some interviews that we did in KMC when people went to vote, and when we come back, we will still at the IEC of headquarters look at the results as they come in. Results that we are getting, I don't know, we cannot confirm. Yes. But we will wait for Aliu Mamar Njai to officially announce the results. So we'll take a break and watch these interviews.
All right.
Yeah, my name is Alaji Waijao.
Alaji Waijao, you're a presiding officer.
Yeah, I'm a presiding officer.
How have you seen the election been going since morning?
Yeah, this one is promising. The turnout is promising. Yeah, compared to the local council. Yeah, but this one is promising.
So how did you see the voting process since 8?
Yeah, it's going fine. It's going fine.
So far, no problem?
No problem.
So you are expecting more voters to come in?
Yeah. How is it going like this? Yeah, I'm expecting more.
Okay, so what do you have to say about the election, this mayoral election?
What I can say, let people come out and vote. Let them come out and vote. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Fatmata Sabali.
Fatmata Sabali, not a cast.
Yeah.
How did you see the election?
Well, this time around, the turnout is good compared to the local government. Which shows that at least people are participating in their right as a citizens. Yeah.
How important is voting?
Voting is so important because we are citizens, and then your vote is your voice. How can you raise your voice when you are not voting? And at least you should not be person you are voting for, so that your voice will be heard.
Okay, so what do you have to advise those that are sitting home, having their voters card and not coming to vote?
My advice to them is that it would have been helping the IEC, because you went ahead and registered to vote. At the end of the day, they spend money on that voters cards. At the end of the day, the voting day, you just sit at home and don't vote. It's not helping the economy of the Gambia. No. So I advise them, at least go and cast your vote. It's better at least. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pedro.
Ite todo.
Dede Paba Karisane.
Paba Karisane, yini election o jeñati le numéro election.
Numéro election alhamdulillah rabbil alamin ko dunda ko nakara ko ma bo ko nakara ko no. Bari ngo korso mi ke di numéro so monda ngaji be dal. Tona to mi mo ka finti nyami ada sabata ka to ke ban le finta kana ka to andu mi bami fanam ko ni do fondi ko mo finti o nyama kana ka dunya dal logo boyla wisina finti no adu mo jama am ni carte fa ya mo kuma ni carte fa le mi alon ka kuma ya tan adu ni amo area council wala minti wala min de ko man sakunda la akuma si man fulo ka kuma se area council la kadu area council wolle balon alla gohoto alla dinkirato alla siri nyaade an alkal namo minjo wolle ka samba ka balance min sat na sa brunal fanka nyaan oto diaje be president carte fa woni nyim carte fa akamundu ko dal president kada important ko nyada important ko kili nyato ko tombo ba nyine tenga mi nyine fon kumata beti oto memi fula fondin ci wonde be dawo da ye filti carte yu fay wala kumaya bare nata jang nyami da nyani de finti nyani amanta beta folo ko fo dan ni nyaado ka ni ay modul ka konton ko le ka finti bare to na fo ni fo la da mantra nyama fo
ite mon confidence la so ni carte fo yo
nga confident min so in carte fo da ni yo council carte fo ba fatala ka ni de ngal confident mi so nga mo ke bal finti da nyami do wata ni ko dan ni closing time aussi la abe tambila wodo tila go confidence de back
you mo recommendations le ne kabeni sama
Universal Properties, the dynamic and most trusted agency in real estate and property management.
We are here to make housing affordable, accessible for every Gambian, despite their financial status.
What makes Universal outstanding in the market is our flexible payment plans.
We set standards in sales and letting of quality properties, mortgage, leasing, rentals, property valuation, construction, and many more.
All our sites are fitted with social amenities such as schools, water, electricity, praying ground, and a good road network. In Sukuta Phase 1 and 2, Jambanjeli, Sanyang, Brikama, Lamen Daranka, and Gunjur coming up soon.
Doing business with Universal Properties, it's a very wonderful experience.
Universal Properties, FIB House, Caraba Avenue.
Now that I have saved some money to build my dream home, I'm really confused about which estate company to approach. My friend had a bad experience with a particular estate agency after completing his payment and could not even get his title deed. This is serious.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Thank you.
My name is Oli. I'm from IEC Investments.
Understood.
Thank you.
You know, I must say you came at a very right time.
Really?
I was thinking about houses.
Great.
What can your company offer me?
EJ Investments can offer you a lot. We're unique in the market.
Okay.
We own our properties and we ensure that they're developed with modern technologies. They're affordable and they are strategic locations. We don't just sell pieces of land, but we create settlements.
What makes your company different from others?
We're different from all real estate companies in the Gambia because what we have to offer is affordability, safety, and security. We ensure that you get a legal contract from when you pay your deposit, and within 4 weeks of paying your final settlement, we make sure you receive your title deed.
4 weeks?
4 weeks.
That's interesting.
Yes. Now tell me, what real estate serves your needs?
It's absolutely EJ Investment and Real Estate Agency.
Of course, for affordable and reliable and secured properties, you have to contact EJ Investment and Universal Properties. Of course, for a reliable money transfer, approved services is the best company in the Gambia. Gentlemen, welcome back to this special election night coverage here at the IEC office. We are really getting started, and I think we have been talking a lot about Banjul, and of course KMC. But remember, we have 7 regions that are competing. So many results are coming in right now, but we cannot confirm this. But I want to talk about the Kerawan administrative area. We have 4 candidates. Abdullah Jalov from GDC, Mrs. Ngui Seka, NRP, Abdullah G. Diba is from PDOIS, and Malamin IL Bojang of UDP. NRP, Kerawan might be in between GDC and UDP.
Definitely.
GDC have a lot of support in Kerawan.
Yeah. Well, yes. It turned out that this election is slightly different. By way of the fact that, I've always said, Fatu and Kemo, that the GDC have been very ambitious, over the last 2 elections. And some analysts have told me if they had concentrated on areas they think that they have very strong following, they probably would have won more seats than they did in the parliamentary as well as in the ward elections. But since the presidential elections, we have seen that the party has grown its tentacles all across the country, which of course gave them a lot of work to do. And since they've just come into the scene, you have to give them credits for really establishing themselves as a formidable force. But I think sometimes they overstretch themselves so much so that they miss out on areas that they could have easily won. Now, if you look at the ward elections in the NBR, where they did tremendously well, I mean, there the support basis more localized. In what they had a lot of support in areas that particularly fall in one ward or so. Then it's easy for them to win there. But this election is asking for, majority of supports all across the administrative region. And if you look at the UDP support base there, you think that the GDC would definitely struggle if there's a massive UDP turnout there. So the Baribus particularly are very strong, behind the UDP, and some other areas in Sanjala and other places. The GDC is strong in the Nyomis and the Jokadu areas, but Baribu alone is heavily populated, and if the UDP can guarantee, a very big turnout, you can see that they will give GDC they will have an edge over GDC. So there too, I don't know what the exit polls, but the indication we are getting that is that place might as well go for UDP. Where I thought, you talk about other regions. There are 7 administrative regions as far as this election is concerned, because the CRR has been split into 2, CRR South and North. Now, I was thinking that the GDC would have done even better in CRR than anywhere else in the country. But it looks like, from what the unconfirmed results are saying, it didn't happen that way. The UDP have won CRR. Yet to be confirmed, of course.
Yet to be confirmed. But I was saying that if there's going to be any results that the GDC might get tonight, might be from the CRR.
Definitely.
Because CRR over the cycle have always shown a lot of support for GDC. But I think one thing that we cannot take from the GDC though, Kemo or Lamin, is for 2 years, just being in the political scene for 2 years.
Quite less than 2 years, exactly.
Yeah, I think they celebrated 2 years yesterday, actually.
Absolutely.
Yes, yesterday, 2 years. So just being in the scene for 2 years and, taking...
You have to give them credit.
I think they have... It seems now that they are the biggest opposition in this country.
Yes, you have to give them credit for... But I think if they are more strategic, like they would have got more members of parliament now than the 5 they've got, if I'm right. Because, I think they were carried away by the amount of votes they got in the presidential elections.
Yeah.
You find out, but that's of course are votes that spread nationwide. Now in these local government elections, as the name indicates, you have to localize your support to be concentrated in an area in order to win. So you can't rely and get your popularity, basing it on the presidential elections where you have votes from every corner of the country. In these ones, you have to localize and concentrate your support in a particular area to win. And I think if they had really done that, they probably would have got more seats than they did. But then, like I said, they are very ambitious. They spread their tentacles all across the country. You have to give them credit. It works well for them because GDC is known all over the country now.
I think
GDC,
that was what I just wanted to point out. I wanted to point out that in as much as they're tasking themselves more than they can do, I think we have to agree that they have a long-term goal, and the long-term goal is for the presidential elections coming. And in politics, you have to stay relevant. And I think that's the game that GDC is trying to play. They want to stay as relevant as much as possible, be on the papers as much as possible, be on social media as much as possible. And I think this is a very good strategy that they're using, and I think it's been working for them well. Because in the space of 2 years, they were able to get 5 seats? In the National Assembly, and then 25 councils. I think that for a party that was less than 2 years, I think that's a very big step they have taken, and I think it's for the long run, and they want to keep being in the limelight, and I think it's been working out for them.
It's been working, but one thing I've always said is GDC is winning in the provincial areas, and where the votes are in the combos. If you're not winning in the combos, you might just kiss the presidency goodbye.
I think Mr. The GDC leader himself admitted this thing when he was reacting to the ward elections. He said their weakness is combo, Banjulan came,
Yeah.
he said they will have to work hard, you know, to improve their popularity in those areas.
Yeah.
Like you said, that's where you have the greatest number of votes,
People,
the KM and West Coast particularly. So if you really have any ambition to grab the presidency, you have to work very hard there to get to maximize your support there.
And you know what is very interesting though? GDC, apart from UDP, is the only party that have put up candidates in all the regions.
Yeah, it was the same thing. Yeah.
I told you they have always been very ambitious. They've spread their activities all over the country. I mean, like he said, of course, it works for them in a way. They want to be relevant and be seen and visible all across the country.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they have, like you said, they have a longer plan. They are eyeing the next presidency. They've always claimed proudly, they have made no secret of that. They are, within the 2 years, they can, you know, they are the biggest. They claim they are the biggest, actually. But then they are the biggest opposition.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, you know, they can claim to be bigger than APRs. You know.
Because they have more.
By virtue. I told you that when the APRC came with that revival rally, everyone was really taken aback, saying, look, APRC have revived. But then, you know, has revived. But then when the local government elections came out, we found out they were only able to grab where their strongholds,
which is the phone.
Nationally, they you know, they did very badly. And, you know, if you claim to be the biggest opposition party, you have to do well from many areas in the country. And that really kind of went to the GDC.
Wow. Now let's look at the Mansakonko area council. We have only two candidates, the UDP candidate and the GDC. Again, Fode Langsar and Landing Sane.
Yes.
Mansakonko.
Landing.
Yes, well, you know, of course, you know, Mansakonko, even before the race starts, it's a UDP stronghold.
Yeah.
Now, what happened in the parliamentary elections and the one election was that there are certain areas, Jara Central and Kian Central to be exact, where the GD has the most support.
Yeah.
But like I said before, in this one you need support all across the region for your candidate to win.
Yeah.
And they suddenly cannot, they are not near in any way or form the numbers the UDP can be able to pull in LRR.
And then another point that I think is important to note is that he spoke about, Mr. Chairman spoke about the individual, you know, during the local government elections, most of the people